Hello YouTube, Morkez Marihser here. This video is a compilation of the shorts I made leading up to the 200th episode of Death Battle. Every day for 3 weeks, these shorts discussed my top 20 episodes of Death Battle, culminating in my number 1. Not only have they been collected for your convenience, but they've also been remastered with new editing by fellow Death Battle and Mario Kart fan Jonathan Frostathan. Go check out some of his content, after you're done watching this of course. He was also kind enough to add some additional sidebar text from yours truly. Some of them are additional comments that didn't make it into the original shorts on account of being short, and others, well, you'll just have to find out. I think that's about enough resting on the baby cannon. Happy 200th episode, Death Battle! Now let's switch gears to Past Me. In honor of Death Battle episode 200, this is Morkez Marihser here with my top 20 episodes of the show. Today we have the 5 honorable mentions. Number 25, Terminator vs. RoboCop. I would love a shot-for-shot remaster of this. What it lacks in polish, it gains in storytelling and a very concise debate. Number 24, Solid Snake vs. Sam Fisher. It's a bit on the lengthy side, but it uses that length for atmosphere, as well as one of the tensest moments in show history. It's pretty good. Number 23, Batman vs. Spider-Man. This is the perfect introduction to the concept of the show. It's also very clearly the best Batman episode. Number 22, Cable vs. Booster Gold. A perfect capsule of the cool factor, fun factor, goofball factor, and hey, I can do that too! Number 21, Kirby vs. Majin Buu. If you just want to put the dumbest grin on your face, then put this on. Does it age well? But it's got Season 2 charm and maximum pink, so I'm set. Number 20, Link vs. Cloud 2021. The countdown starts proper with a damn good rematch. Granted, I still give it an 8 out of 10, but it's at the top of said range and anything afterwards is a 9 or 10. And while you're still stewing on my scoring system, the faults of the episode mainly lie in some analysis pacing and animation minutiae. But despite a couple stumbles, it gets back up and then some. What it lacks in those areas, it gains back in sheer cool factor. The choreography is snappy and incredibly varied. The Zelda items and materia magic clash really well together, and there are lots of clever references to the original woven in naturally. The track is great, even if the first half is all Final Fantasy and the second half is all Zelda. But hey, the pieces are that strong. The episode highlight, I'll be doing those by the way, is fierce deity Link emerging from the rubble. Tall, dark, and absolutely terrifying. But what could be better than a fantastical rematch? Number 19, Wile E. Coyote vs. Tom Cat. And now to see if I can get through this without mentioning Kratos vs. Suffer and Succotash. Coming clean for a second, the campaign to vote this in at the time was obnoxious. I'm just covering the long-delayed result. So, does it speak for itself? Of course not, that would be out of character. This was exactly what I would have hoped for. The blend of slapstick here is smooth, hilarious, and it delivers exactly what it needs to. Sure, the kill could have been a little stronger, but among its peers, be they joke-based or toonliness adjacent, this is almost unparalleled. The highlight of the episode was very difficult to pick. Everything from the map chase to the wall gag, even the music was up for grabs. But in the end, I had to go with the Latin naming scheme. It's too classic to lose. Perpetuus Victimus indeed. But that's not all, folks. Just what could be even better than a Mortis Combaticus Delicious? Number 18, Samurai Jack vs. Afro Samurai. I used to overlook this one, but now I just wish I'd gotten into the hype sooner. The more recent fight from Luis might have been smoother and funnier, but this is more consistent and awesome. I'd say that fits the source material, but no, this animation actually does. Somehow it creates a stylistic blend feeling straight out of Samurai Jack while Afro isn't out of place. The choreography is fantastic, taking great advantage of the set piece and leaning on raw skill with the blade. Far as I can tell, the fan service is a little Jack heavy, though there might be Afro stuff I'm just not aware of. My highlight though might surprise you, as it's not the kill. Now don't get me wrong, I like it when a samurai cuts up a worthless object, or in this case just Sam Jackson. But sometimes it's the little character moments that do it for you. They take something that stands on its own and make it jump good. Alright, I think I made my point, which is good because these swords have to be sharp. But what could be even better? Number 17, Winter Soldier vs. Red Hood. For whatever reason, it feels like the Death Battle community as a whole has treated the live action fights as just a novelty. That's even considering we're supposed to be getting another one from Ismahawk later in the year. As for me, I like both of them, but I adore this one especially. Now from a versus standpoint, the writing, yeah, it's a bit of a mess. But the fight itself is very well written, really well choreographed, and the limited blend of CGI is insanely impressive. In fact, most people don't even realize it's there. And this is an elevated Death Battle budget. Forget novelty, this looks better than most episodes of Arrow. with one exception. The killing blow is pretty weak, but it's compensated for with perfect atmosphere, ranging from the shot immediately after to my personal highlight, the swinging door. Editing like that deserves to be praised. But is there something even better under the hood? Number 16, Galactus vs. Unicron. Welcome to Season 10, everybody. We're gonna be here a while. As the most requested episode of all freaking time, well, at the time, the anticipation for this one was so high that it started to turn back around because people were tired of asking for it. Instead, it just needed longer to cook. And on a spectacle standpoint, it freaking cooked. Although there are a lot of criticisms that this is entirely style over substance. Obviously, if it's here, it doesn't bother me enough, but I do acknowledge a few issues. But even those issues are more than compensated for. This might be the best case of showing off cosmic scale destruction and escalation by starting from something we know, the Earth, and then using said thing we know as a weapon, then the next layer, then the next layer, and so on. The black hole punch is a great example, and it might be my highlight of the episode. Plus, the track and the analysis are both really damn good. There's not enough praise given to either one. It's not perfect, but what it does well, it does really freaking well. But perhaps you're hungry for something even better? Number 15, Gojo vs. Makima. I've noticed a bit of a trend with this episode. The more you knew about these series beforehand, the more problems you seem to have with the resulting episode. Now, I can only talk about my personal experience. I went into this knowing and caring nothing about either series. And you know what this episode did? It made me care. It's the complete opposite of something like Killua vs. Misaka. That's my bottom of the season because watching it 5 times, I still don't know who these people are. One watch of this, on the other hand, and I get it. It made the setting and even the verses so damn interesting. It even made it more approachable to casuals by adding in a little verse equalization. And the fight, which I know I've been showing footage of without really discussing so far, is fantastic. I'm not the biggest fan of the music, but that aside, the style is great. The back and forth, the escalation, and the incredible unlimited void moment. Easy highlight. But if you signed a contract for something even better, we have number 14, Bill Cipher versus Discord. I mean, come on. How could I not like this episode? Okay, maybe if I was busy debating it and getting into all the 11D arguments, but I don't care about that so long as it entertains me. If it makes enough sense in the episode, I'm good. Or in this case, if it makes enough nonsense. And believe you me, anything with a little essence to Q, complete with some Easter eggs, is bound to entice me. Even now, I'm not into Gravity Falls, but the effort put into this episode absolutely pays off, both from sheer entertainment value and really clever writing and editing. And while I don't usually prefer lyrical tracks, Discordant Decipher is really damn good. There are so many things I could have chosen for the highlight, and I'm gonna go with the hand puppets. I mean, it's another Q reference. Get Star Trek on the show already! But I still prefer one more episode from the season. Number 13, Phoenix vs. Raven. I can imagine a lot of you were expecting something else. In fact, anything else. And no, I am not pulling your leg. None of this it'd be peak any other year nonsense. That is patronizing, always has been. I genuinely love this episode. For starters, it has the single funniest moment in Death Battle history, and it wasn't even intentional. But what was intentional was the character histories going through what it's like for both the characters and their readers. As a huge Marv Wolfman fan, I absolutely appreciate that. The fight is great. It's fun, really well scored, really well paced, and has the single best looking hand-drawn element ever. And yes, that is my highlight. I've seen so many people disregard this episode or give it a lot of criticisms that I just don't agree with. And you know what? That's okay. I'm still going to enjoy this as my top episode of the season. Still a 9 out of 10 though. But what's even better than a bird up? Number 12, Thor vs. Vegeta. I'm not trying to make this a trend, but here's another episode where people have been turning on it lately and I don't get it. Yeah, Yarbjorn and the God Blast, I know. But look at the rest! The adrenaline and the pacing are phenomenal. The escalation here is really damn good. It's mainly personality driven, and these two have delectable personalities. A lot of folks I've spoken with rag on these two for being quote machines. First off, we've had worse cases very recently and people are fine with it. Second, with the exception of maybe one line from Vegeta, every single quote fits the moment. Yes, including the MCU one. Thor is recentering himself after exiting Warrior's Madness. I don't care what the wiki says. And just to make things better, throw in one of the best songs of the whole show and the best fake out in series history. No contest, that's my highlight. But perhaps you're looking for something a little more worthy. Number 11, Magneto vs. Tetsuo. This was actually a close contest with the previously mentioned Thor vs. Vegeta. The pure adrenaline of that episode initially came out on top, but this won in the end for one major thing. the integration of the haunting theme. Between the analysis and the fight itself, the character work on display is so good that most people don't even mind the obvious stomp. And this episode has a Marvel herald. The haunting nature of Tetsuo and the tragedy of Magneto collide pretty damn well. I'd even say that the invocation of Magneto's inspiration, retconned as it may have been, is an oddly good pairing with the idea of an ego death, which is also the name of the perfectly atmospheric track. You also would never have expected this show to feature a genuine mercy killing, but we got it, it isn't out of place, and it's easily my highlight. But I hear you, ex-chickens. Would you like something even better to be welcome to die? Yeah, that was forced. Number 10. Hulk vs. Doomsday and Godzilla. I had to record everything else in advance, and I could not have planned this coincidence if I tried. Hulkaloooyah! This is a great pairing of old Death Battle and current Death Battle, with the best elements of both and a couple flaws of either. Doomsday's analysis spends enough time on their messed up origins, while Godzilla's goes into their cosmic implications. Doomsday wraps up with realistic biology, while Godzilla wraps up with thematic cosmology. Doomsday is kept to a single metropolis in order to keep everything gritty and real, while Godzilla brings the cosmic to the city instead of going into space, thank God. Doomsday is adrenaline-packed escalation, Godzilla is intelligently realized satisfaction. Doomsday highlight on screen here, Godzilla highlight on screen there. Now there are flaws I don't have the time to get into, though I will say the ugliest sin, Worldbreaker, puts Godzilla a step down. And while I may have some recency bias, one thing's for sure, Broly is so much worse. And now for me to go set my computer on fire. And as neither episode here is the strongest there is, we have number 9, Ghost Rider vs. Spawn. Now and again, something could be really freaking cool just because it's really freaking cool. I mean, ideally, everything would be, but this one epitomizes the notion so damn well while still going one step further. Or in this case, 9 circles deeper. It's rare the entire community comes together and says, hell yeah, but with the exception of YouTube censorship, that is exactly what happened. I mean, what can I add to the discussion here? It's got clean sprite work, amazing hand-drawn interludes, great dialogue, one of the most creative uses of a background of all things, a kill setup that could only be provided by this one matchup, and a performance from Ray Hurd that is among the best in series history. My highlight of the episode is 2 words. And you already know which ones I mean. But what could be even better than something too dangerous for YouTube? Number 8, Pokemon Battle Royale. When people talk about Season 2 being the peak of Death Battle, there's a certain je ne sais quoi they feel hasn't been recaptured since. We'll see if I agree with that notion later on, but this is the episode I feel has that very je ne sais quoi. Or in this case, I guess it's je sais quoi, but enough being French. This episode is a fun, exceedingly quotable party answering the age-old question. Of course, the answer is out of date, and when this was up for being redone, I was actually for it. But it's not because this needs any fixing. In fact, given the resources at the time, this is a shockingly creative fight. Okay, yeah, the percentage thing is complete BS, but the limitations taken here are exactly the right approach, and it leads to a lot of fun interactions in the fight, to the point where I struggled to pick a highlight for the longest time. Well, actually, it's super easy, barely an inconvenience. I'm picking the origin of Blastoise. And that's the highest ranked episode that I give a 9 out of 10. From here on out, it's perfect 10s like no one ever was. Number 7, Saitama vs. Popeye. Alright, we're playing with the big boys now, the 10 out of 10s that eats their spinach. Now, I'm not actually much of a One Punch fan, and my Popeye experience is limited, although I have seen the live action movie twice. This episode does a good job of making me love both characters right away. Before this, I felt Saitama was just this overhyped character, but now I get it. And it's not because they put him up against Popeye, although that was the right choice. It's the epitome of taking something ridiculous entirely seriously. They don't have to couch it in the toonliness as some sort of disclaimer. No, they take it all the way. Nothing is held back or infantilized. Everything is put on full display, and it is glorious. And the character work is pretty good too. My highlight of the episode is Saitama getting something he was seeking and didn't find in his own series, at least as far as I know. He died a fulfilled man. Sayonara, fellow Baldy!
But perhaps you're looking for something a bit more enjoyable and excellent, huh?
Number 6, Ryu vs. Jin. Ah, Torian Crawford, what a man. As revered on this show as he is mimetic by now. This might not be the highest placing Torian fight on my list, spoilers I guess, but it is without a doubt the most Torian. This is the best close quarters combat we have ever seen on the show. I don't even think there's any competition there. The Street Fighter and Tekken moves are seamlessly woven in with the natural combat and all the in-betweens. It cleverly knows when to slow down, so we see the build-up and impact of every single blow, whether it's from their kit or just a random punch. The escalation is fantastic, fitting with a rap track that I, very much not a fan of rap, think fits here perfectly. And any flaws with the analysis or, yeah, the kill, are more than overcompensated for. Everything from the evil Ryu moment onwards is so damn raw, and my highlight has to be when they fought on the debris of a Ruby set. I'll leave any further jokes there to you. But the answers still lie in the heart of more death battles, so we have number 5, Sauron versus Lich King. This got me to care about Warcraft at all. That is already an accomplishment. The sinister atmosphere here is palpable. Villain versus villain episodes have the most room to be naturally intense. I mean, no kidding. But this takes it to the next level. All of the high fantasy elements, from the choir to the dark colors to everything in between, results in a tone that had never been captured before, or since. The sound engineering for the dialogue is incredibly clever. The Lich King has a pretty good reverb filter, but Sauron? Whoever made the decision to layer his own dialogue translated in black speech under his voice deserves a raise. I also have 2 highlights here. 1, the best staring contest since Captain America vs. Deathstroke. 2, the embers falling on a conquered icy summit. Legendary. But alas, this is not the one death battle to rule them all. We have number 4, Goku Black versus Reverse Flash. This has the best analysis in the series. Well, for Thawne anyway. But the one for Black is overhated. Setting that aside, it is really difficult to believe that this episode was technically a filler because it's so damn impressive. Oh sure, we got a pretty good track in Reverse Rosé. Oh sure, we got the amazing editing that was almost standard by this point. But the fight is viciously fun. And not just fun, but smart. Just like Hulk vs. Doomsday, the city set piece does its job in helping us establish the speed, the devastation, the escalation, the freaking moon, and we're able to follow it. Of course, that wouldn't mean much if these two weren't gushing with personality in every single thing they did, especially when they start throwing in time travel. Now we get to revisit and destroy every moment they fought so far, and gloating all the way through it, which is very important. My highlight, Hey, Quicksilver! Tag! Now to check out some better episodes before they get retconned out of existence. Number 3, Mega Man Battle Royale. If you're surprised and you know it, then you're lying. Let me start by saying the single worst thing about this entire episode. It does a bit of shorthand, which is understandable given that this is a 5-way fight. Can you blame them? And for being a 5er, this is an incredible feat. I place high value on episodes that don't just take you through the characters well, but what it's like to be one of their fans. But that's just a taste of the super fighting action. Even with the shorthand, the fight manages to seamlessly portray their relative strengths and weaknesses with a mix of adrenaline and humor. The best example of this is the aftermath of the black hole, showing how the survivors are in different conditions based on their placement. That would be my highlight, if not for the legendary boomstick rant. One way or another, they gave Volnut his due, or at least reflected how being a Capcom fan can suck worse than a black hole. You make the call! Now what'll happen first? A brand new game or an even better episode? You know the answer to that. Number 2, Iron Man vs. Lex Luthor. For too long, I've had this episode at number 1, but all this time, little did we know, it's just been playing as my favorite. Nah, it got dethroned. But hey, I'm not even gonna pretend that my highlight could be anything else. This held the top spot for me for quite a long time for a darn good reason. In fact, what can I add to the conversation? Everyone already praises the setup, the escalation, the voice acting, the incredible dialogue. What I don't see as much love for is the analysis, and those are phenomenal too. The Luthor one is dripping with personality, and the Iron Man one has the kind of moment that was only recaptured in, well, Phoenix. Go figure. And if there's one thing I do miss about old Death Battle, it's ones that had the time to pull out all the stops. Not a single moment is wasted or overstays its welcome. It's either cool, funny, awesome, or yes. It would take something impossibly better than their Sunday best to dethrone it. But indeed, a new king finally took the throne. Which is it? Number 1, Bowser vs. Eggman. Is anyone surprised about this? Well, what might surprise you is that I went into this episode terrified, but they fixed everything I was worried about. I really did not want a lyrical track, and Game Over is the best song in the show. The voice acting is spot on. One of the animators playing Bowser and such an unexpectedly good Eggman were not on my bingo card. The analysis is basically what modern death battles should look like, period. And the fight? Name a flaw. I dare you, right now, name a flaw with this fight. I'm a nitpicky asshole and I can't think of a damn thing. And wanting more of it does not count. Why? They gave us more of it with the alternate scenarios! Oh wait, I forgot my highlight. Let's see, this one. Yeah, that'll do. Anyway, congratulations are in order for Ben, Chad, Austin, Sam, DJ, Origin, Luis, Morrow, Zach, Arthur, Brandon, Victor, Tyler, and Anthony for giving us perfection. And here we come to episode 200. How is it gonna compare? I'm sure I'll tell you eventually. Happy 200. This is Morkez Marihser, signing off.